to Britain to become teachers. Goodbye, Majeika.
Majeika!
Mr. Potter.
Ready for the last big day, eh, Majeika?
Last big day?
Well, you haven't forgotten what day it is today, have you, Majeika? Why, it's the end of term, isn't it? Only one more day to enjoy before we bid farewell to Class 3 at last.
You mean Class 3 are leaving, Mr. Potter?
Every single one of them, Majeika.
Even Hamish Bigmore?
Even him, Majeika. Isn't that wonderful news? Yes, it's time for them to haunt yet another teaching establishment, Majeika.
But where will Class 3 go, Mr. Potter?
Well, those who have done best will pass on.
Pass on?
To the legendary Bartminster, Majeika. Fount of 5 prime ministers, 8 archbishops, and the fashion editor of the Barty Bugle, Majeika.
And those that haven't done quite so well, Mr. Potter?
Well, they'll probably end up at Barty Institute, Majeika. Provided there's a vacancy.
One does hope Wizard Schemes will be happy running the clapped-out witches' pension fund. However...
His moving on to accountancy greatness does leave us with one slight problem, Your Worshipfulness.
Yes, Mrs. Bucks?
The need to promote someone to take his place, Your Worshipfulness.
I had thought we might possibly give Apprentice Wizard Majeika another tryout.
Who, Your Worshipfulness?
You remember Majeika, don't you?
Vaguely, Your Worshipfulness. If Your Worshipfulness could just pinpoint him for me.
Well, he was banished to Britland some years ago to do what all failed wizards do.
Become a traffic warden, sir?
No. A teacher, Mr. Knox.
Ah, yes. Now I remember him, sir.
Yes, well... Thank you. Still, he couldn't do worse than last time, could he, when he scored?
Naught, wasn't it, Your Worshipfulness?
For spells practical and...
-2, check.
For spells biological, before filling.
The entire witch's knitting circle during his broomstick flying test, check.
Still, deserving of one more chance, wouldn't you think, Wizard Marks?
Of course, Your Worshipfulness. Whatever pleases Your Worshipfulness.
I just can't believe it, Hamish. My very own little boy off to big school at last. Mummy and Daddy are going to be so proud of you, aren't we, Hamish? Come along, Hamish. Do I have to, Mummy? Of course you do, darling, because you're Mummy's big boy now, aren't you, baby? And besides...
What?
You've got to leave Class 3 sometime, haven't you, darling? Come along. There's a good boy.
There you are, Majeika.
Oh, as always at this time of day, sir.
Time to come home, Majeika.
Oh, sir. Is it really, sir?
Yes, an unexpected vacancy has occurred for a qualified wizard, and we've put you up for it.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Of course it will mean...
Resitting your sorcery exams, Majeika?
Oh, those things, sir.
You do want to resit your sorcery exams, don't you, Majeika?
Oh, yes, sir. I can't wait, sir.
Jolly good.
Quite frankly, Mrs. Bigmore, we have very few places on offer just now. And what there are generally reserved, as you know, for the chosen few. It all depends on the interview, you see?
That's okay, sir. You've passed the interview. Now, when do I start?
I'm afraid you're under a slight misapprehension there, Bigmore Minimus.
What?
It is I who have to approve you, not the other way round. And besides,
What?
we still have your common entrance to consider.
Who are you calling common? Come on, my head.
You're doing what, Mr. Majeika?
Leaving too, I'm afraid, Mr. Potter.
Not staying on for yet another fun-packed Michaelmas term?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Potter.
But why? Why, Mr. Majeika?
Just been informed I have to finish my studies, sir.
To be a further qualified teacher, Majeika?
No, to be a further qualified wizard.
Do we really have to try another boring school, Mummy?
You mean you're leaving here too, sir?
I'm afraid so, Melanie.
Oh, sir, you're really going back?
Back to all-purpose, children.
But why, Mr. Majeika? Is it time to resit your sorcery exams, sir?
No one is allowed to fail their sorcery exams 17 times, Majeika, without having...
Their wand withered, Majeika.
and being demoted to...
A fourth-class broomstick member, your worshipfulness.
You see, if I don't, I'll lose my learner's license, and then I could be...
Stripped of all your magical powers, sir?
Yes.
But if you pass your forthcoming exams, sir...
Then I'll be a fully qualified wizard.
But if you fail, sir...
Oh, well, then another wizard will win the coveted graduation bat. Well, I will have my certificate of wizardship burnt before my very eyes.
Nothing.
Good news, is it, Amy?
Afraid not, Mummy.
What, no luck there neither, eh, Amy?
Apprentice wizard Specs, your worshipfulness.
Oh, yes.
Good galaxies, I'd almost forgotten about him, sir.
D-E-A-O. Oh, Specs.
You are cordially ordered to...
Not again, Amy. There, darling. There's bound to be a place for Mummy's darling beautiful somewhere. Isn't there, Amy?
Goodbye, Class 3.
Coming right away, your worshipfulness.
Oh dear. Ready for blast off, your worshipfulness.
You do realise that he probably has no chance at all of passing his exam, don't you, Melanie? Especially since he's up against another wizard, Sam. Exactly, Melanie.
Still awaiting blast off, your worshipfulness. Oh, course, you're absolutely right, Mrs. Bigmore. It's most unfortunate, though not entirely unexpected, that no decent school in Bartishire could offer a place to your Hamish.
Which is why we must turn to you.
To me, Mrs. Bigmore?
In our hour of need, Mr. Potter. If only you could possibly cram.
Cram?
Oh, my Hamish, Mr. Potter. In the school holidays, Mr. Potter.
Oh.
Then there's just a possibility that my Hamish will pass his common entrance exam.
Ah, there you are, Majeika.
Still here, Mr. Potter.
Have you got a lift to the station?
Oh, I'm not travelling by train, Mr. Potter.
By Piggy Wilson's taxi, then?
No, by trike, actually, Mr. Potter.
A good rest. That's what we all need, Majeika. It gets to us all in the end, you see.
What does, Mr. Potter?
They do, Majeika.
Oh, yes, yes.
Not you, Bigmore.
Sad to be going then, Majeika?
Oh, indeed I am, sir.
I thought you couldn't stand being a teacher.
Well, no one can, sir, but at the same time,
Yes?
I will miss my friends, sir.
Nice rattling Bigmore, for example.
Well, not him especially, sir.
Anybody there?
But I will miss Melanie and Sam, sir.
Ah, yes.
Oh, miss them terribly, sir.
Mr. Majeika, Mr. Majeika! You weren't going, sir. Without saying goodbye to us, were you?
Oh, of course not, children.
Well, Wizard Knots?
Wizard Specs is here now, your worshipfulness.
Then summon Majeika. Ah, there you are, Majeika.
Home at last, your worshipfulness.
But you've brought the Bricklander Brattlings with you.
Oh, so I have, your worshipfulness.
Please let us stay, your worshipfulness. We promise we won't be a scrap of trouble, your worshipfulness.
I might draw your attention to Rule 409, subsection 3004 of the Good Wizard's Guide, your worshipfulness, which strictly forbids any familiars whatsoever being allowed up to Walpurgis.
It wasn't Majeika's fault they came.
No, your worshipfulness.
It was all your fault they came.
So it was, your worshipfulness.
At least now, we're here to help you, sir.
Not this time, children.
Ready then, Majeika?
Oh, looking forward to it enormously, sir.
Question 1. Wizard Oz has 720 bats. If he baths half of them on Thursday and 2/3 of them on Friday, how many bats does Wizard Oz have to bath on Saturday?
Well, that depends how many escaped being bathed when they were bathed previously.
What? No, wrong.
Is the answer 6,666, sir?
No, it is not, Wizard Specs. Question 2. None right so far.
Question 3. If it takes 140 ants 17 weeks to carry 346 bricks to make 231 walls, how long does it take 120 ants with 977 bricks to do the same?
You tell me.
Question 4.
What's he doing now, Sam? Smells theoretical, Melanie.
Complete these well-known spells. To turn a frog into a prince, take a pound of spider's mince, add a sprig of witch's wig, and...
A pound of onions.
No. To put a wart on someone's nose, first you have to paint your toes, then curl your hair with the leg of a chair, and...
run round and round in circles until you get dizzy, sir.
To give a witch a dreadful fright, make her broomstick fly at night, give her cat a tiger's roar, and...
Say boo.
To make your hiccups go away, boil a mouse at break of day, add a dash of mugwort mash, and...
Hold your breath while you count to 100 backwards, sir.
Oh dear.
Question 10. Name a famous fish eater.
Billy the Squid.
And now, spells biological, Melanie.
30 seconds left to make your Adderstown love potion.
Question 67. General knowledge. Who killed Cock Robin?
Was it
Yes?
Mrs. Robin?
No. Question 68.
I have hidden my wizard's thimble somewhere in Walpurgis, and you have 60 seconds in which to find it.
It's his last chance now, Melanie. Fingers crossed.
Check. Ten seconds left. That is my best route. Time's up. And the results of the outstandingly ordinary level of wizardry exams are as follows.
Not again, sir.
Pass, just, with a mark of 0.5% above abject failure, apprentice wizard Majeika.
You've done it, sir. You've done it.
So I have, children. So I have. What about me, your worshipfulness?
I'm afraid you failed, Specs. You know what happens to wizards who fail time and time again, don't you, Wizard Specs? They get banished.
To Britland.
Don't they, Wizard Specs?
Not again, your worshipfulness.
To become this time
What no one in his right mind would want to become.
Not an estate agent, your worshipfulness.
No.
a teacher, Specs.
No, anything but that, your worshipfulness. No!
Bye-bye, Wizard Specs. I think you'll find there's a vacancy in much Barty, Wizard Specs.
Thank you, your worshipfulness. Replacement teacher, Mr. Potter.
And isn't it lucky I've just the one special pupil all ready for you, Mr.
very own graduation back, sir. I can hardly believe it.
Nor I. But it appears you've graduated at last.
From the Walpurgis College of Little or No Education?
As a wizard third class.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can we stay? Perhaps just a little bit longer?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Rattlings. It appears all good things have to come to an end.
Can't they even stay for the party, sir?
Party, Mr. Majeika?
Oh, yes, we always have a party when there's a new wizard in Walpurgis. Don't we, sir?
Oh, well, perhaps just this once.
I'm afraid so, children.
Will we ever see you again, sir?
Oh, I think so, children. Any time you need a friend, just conjure up a certain...
Fully qualified wizard of the third class remove, sir. It's been so wonderful.
Oh, and it's been a great privilege being your friend too, children.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye, sir. Bye, Mr. Majeika.
You know, I can still hardly believe it, sir.
Well, don't get too carried away, Majeika. Remember, you're only a probationary wizard.
A probationer, sir.
Yes, and if we find your spells are not
Consistently up to scratch.
then you'll be blasted back.
To Britland too, Majeika.